Our history is like two iconic breaking ground, making history in separate ways.
Let's proceed with what I feel is the most interesting part of the program.
All the interesting things going on in the news.
It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
There are some interesting details relating to all this. Now listen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. If you can't be at least mildly interesting, then shut the hell up.
Let's see if they've got any interesting guests coming up.
I don't want to be rude here, but my stories are interesting.
We proceed
to give you what you need.
Yeah, there he is. I got you now. What's up, everybody?
Welcome
to TIPI. The interesting part is my name is Zanie. They call me the loudmouth. That's my brother.
Kiss Allen, the Kiss Allen experience.
And dude, I just gotta get your take on this whole thing with Lil Boosie, man. I think it's a higher road that he's trying to take, but I don't know if I agree with it. First things first, man, we got to show love to our perpetual sponsor, to that one that's gonna be with us, that's been with us from day one, gonna be with us all the time. Big Don's Collection. Now, this is Big Don's. This is barbecue sauce, man. This is the original version. I'm gonna show you something. Hang on, I'm gonna show you something. This is Big Don's spicy smoke and flake. You're gonna love these two, and this is a brand that's close to our hearts, Kiss Allen.
Near and dear. Shout out Tammy, Shadi Stewart, and family. I know he a granddaddy now. I know he tripping on me saying that, but this was their brainchild, right? As we grew up in the home with our father, who had some creative culinary skills.
Yeah. He was different. He was different.
Yeah, and by gas being off from time to time, we barbecued a lot. And I think one of the things Shadi did was set up under Big Don and got this recipe, and he has put it to work. He's shown resiliency. And as mentioned, this is a collection, right? Yeah. So you got the barbecue sauce. I know he got the seasoning named after Mama. He got aprons and hats.
Yeah.
It's a lot to come under this brand.
It's so Big Don's Collection, at Big Don's Collection on social media. Just search that, you'll find him. And just, man, place an order with this guy, man. This guy is big time, and this is so good. Everybody's going to like it. Low in sodium, low in sugar, and it's just incredible. Try Big Don's Collection. All right, Lil Boosie. Let me give you some backstory. Lil Boosie came on, and he said that he has a major stalker, Kiss Allen. A stalker. Not just somebody who's like sending you text messages or popping up in your email. This girl is coming to his home. She's an older woman. She's got a family of her own, but for some reason, she is just all over him. She's claiming that her kids are his kids. She's showing up at his house. She's making him threats. She pulled out like a weapon. And everybody thought it was a real gun. It was a BB gun, but everybody thought it was a real gun. So she is really in a space in her head where, like, she like, yeah, you finna acknowledge these kids. You finna come out here. I'm gonna shoot the whole house. So she's gone. She's gone. And it's been happening months over months. I'm gonna Kiss. Listen to what Boosie had to say about her.
Nah, that stalker, I've been going through that 4 months, about probably 5 months. That's about her 8th time coming. She crazy. Crazy ain't the word. Been coming for like 6 months straight, bro. Like, she came 3 times this week saying she gonna shoot up the house. We thought she had real guns, but they was BB guns. Talking about she ready to die, she go kill me. Nah, I told him let her go, bro. I mean, give her a warning. I can't put nobody in jail, bro. I mean, police was like, she really messed up in the head. The little girl called me her daddy, and she said her mama told her that and all kinds of shit.
Wow.
She need to get some help, bro. I went to the car and I told her, I say, I don't know you. I say, I never seen you in my life. She like, really torn? Calling me by my real name. I'm like, woman, get from out of my fucking yard.
All right, I'm gonna cut it right there. Boosie. Okay. So y'all hear from Boosie what he dealing with. I mean, what you think about this right now, dog? What's going on?
I get this whole no snitching. I'm 10 toes down. I'm about keeping my pride. But man, look, my family come first.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he's not the only one in harm's way.
Right.
I got to think about more than myself when it comes to my street code and my value in the street. So for me, from my perspective, I got to protect my family. I got to do whatever I need to do. And if that means incarceration, sound like she needs some other help. But if that means
exactly. I think what you're doing is you denying her the real help that she really need, dog. We heard Boosie in that clip say that I ain't gonna put nobody in jail, dog. I said just let her go. Just let her go. Next time it's gonna be some matches and some lighter fluid. Like, you got to think about, like you said, Kis, to your point, your house, your kids, they well-being, they safety, they calm of mind. So say, for instance, she out there wilding in the middle of the street at 3 o'clock and your kids coming home from school. Is she going to grab one of them? You know what I mean? Like, so listen, I know you sometimes lessons got to be learned the hard way.
Yeah.
We know all about that. Lessons got to be learned the hard way. Once again, it's TIPI. The interesting part is when we talk about the most interesting part of the most interesting stories of the most interesting people, and we like to get it in. And sometimes, like off camera, we be up to no good. In other words, we fighting and arguing on different subjects, and you see Kis Allen shaking his head because you already know what I'm about to say.
Because I had a conversation the other day, man, about about how do we preserve our greats and what's to come of it next, right? Speaking of next, this guy with these Bud Light Nexus.
No carbs, baby. No calories. Come on now.
Yeah,
send us a couple cases. What's up?
Send him a couple of cases. I'll be all right. No, man. We were sitting around talking about, like, who gonna be the next? What do I have to look forward to? So I'm gonna challenge you here, loudmouth. I'm gonna challenge you with our top 5 at 5.
Okay.
Would I top 5 and why?
Okay. This little segment we like to do, we like to break it down a little bit. So let's get to the meat of the argument. The argument was who's gonna be and you were very specific. You was like who gonna be the next?
Who gonna be the next Mike Tyson?
Woo!
Give it to me. A once in a lifetime generational cat. Not only did he carry himself in that ring, but he taught us so much about life outside that ring. Who is in the space right now to take us forward?
I hear that. So that kind of thing. All right. So let's go one for one. We're gonna start with somebody that you really were passionate about, somebody you talked about. Who's gonna be the next logo, right? On the shoe, right? What was his name?
Right. Who gonna be the next? I know who gonna be the next Mike. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
This is an argument that lives in infinity.
Because it was Kobe, right?
I don't think there is a next, but for the sake of argument, who do you have?
I think there's somebody who has some potential, minus a hiccup that just happened this year and some social media stuff. But then remember, Mike didn't have social media as a draw on him. So I think that the next Mike could very well be our guy Anthony Edwards.
Okay, I can see that. He
got Minnesota Timberwolves. I think he's got the creds, right? Mike built the Bulls up from a team that people look down on to a number one contender, a team that was playoff potential. So I think that he has that, minus a couple of hiccups lately with his image on social media. But like, again, Mike didn't have that. So I think that this guy, knowing what he knows, learning that lesson from that hot burn from Twitter or whatever, I think that he's going to be all right.
Okay.
Top 5 and why. Who's going to be the next songstress? What was her name? What'd you call her?
Right. Yeah. Who's gonna be the next Whitney Houston?
Ooh. Big time high powered model, turn superstar singer, with dating bad boy. I'm gonna put a name out there. You probably do you know this name, Coco Jones?
Haven't really not a whole lot. Shame on
Okay, see, don't say that. Don't admit that. This Coco Jones, one of the biggest hits,
she
one of
just
the
won a
biggest hits
Grammy,
on the
didn't
radio, and she can really sing. Now, some other some other sisters out there that's really getting down, doing their thing in the model space and in the R&B space. But Coco Jones can really carry.
Didn't she just win a Grammy?
Yep, and she's on that Fresh Prince reboot show. You know, she plays Hillary, and she, oh my God, this girl, she's special. So
Okay.
I think there's something there. You saying who's gonna be the next? Not who they are now, but who can develop into those positions. Top
There
five.
There we
And
go. I'll
why?
take
Who's
that
gonna be the next
new edition?
Woo! We talk about legendary boy band who got together, created magic for a whole bunch of people, millions of people, splintered and became their own entities and did their own things. This gonna be controversial.
Come on.
And I hope y'all don't want to pull my black card after this, but I'm keeping it 100 as a dude who's been in radio for 30 years. BTS.
BTS. Give us a little history.
BTS, for the people in the world who don't know who they is a K-pop Japanese boy band who crossed over into, the US. They killing it. They've had multi-platinum, this, that, the other. They the classic boy band, every different personality, and now they're starting to splinter off into solo careers. The one dude, Jungkook, has done records with Usher. He's done some major collabos. He's crossing way over. And he's like, whatever, a la Justin Timberlake, a la Bobby Brown, a la, you see what I'm saying? So he's doing those things that boy bands do. And this band it's a big deal. You and me might not mess with him, but the rest of the world, absolutely.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Absolutely. Got two more real quick. We talked about Tyson. Tyson revolutionized Mike Tyson revolutionized that boxing game, man. Late 80s, late 80s, all the way through 2000s. Who do we see in that ring right now that can pick that mantle up and be that personality, but still dominate in the fight game?
I only have one. I have a couple of thoughts. One is the way me and you look at boxing is the way this next generation look at the MMA, the UFC, and so they're not really. It's unfortunate, but they're not really paying attention to who our guys was. But I think the guy who embodies that, who can take that to the next level, if he decides to go on, because he's been at it for a while, I want to say in that UFC space is John Bones Jones.
Wow.
I ain't seen nobody win. I don't see nobody win like he do. I ain't seen nobody with the ferocity like he got. But it's controlled. It's not like Tyson. It's controlled. It's a controlled observation. I'm going to win. He told his last opponent, I'm going to beat you so bad. It's going to be, I'm glad you're braggadocious. I'm glad you're saying the things that you're saying. Because what Mike say, I'm ferocious. I'm a tiger. I'm a eat your children. Yeah. Remember that whole thing?
He used a lot of words out of context.
John Bones Jones, in a more subdued way, is like, dude, I'm glad you think that that's the way it's going to go. But this is the way it's actually going to go. And then he delivered on it. And then he went back and had a Subway sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing to this kid. And I think that's that guy who most embodies that. So if he wants to continue to fight, I think he's our guy in that Tyson space.
Last
Top
but not least,
5 and why? Who's next? Who is the next what?
Michael Jackson. I miss me some Mike. Do we have a crooner out here that I know Usher blowing up out there in Vegas? But look, I'm gonna leave that to you. Who is the next Mike Jackson? That is.
I think you know what. I'm gonna keep it 100. I think we already seen him. We know exactly who he is. We love him and we hate him, and that's Chris Brown.
Oh,
that's Chris Brown. Chris Brown was on a trajectory to be that guy, and then he got sidetracked because he lost his temper with this girl. They were both young, and I think a lot of people skip over that part. They were both very young, and she was doing her stalker. Who is this in your phone? And he was, he's like, stop looking at my phone. She threw his phone out the window. He lost his, he made a mistake, and that just totally derailed his trajectory. I still think he has the pipes. I mean, you listen, and I'm gonna say this, man, it's gonna sound weird. But when you listen to Chris Brown in his best moments, he sings like an angel. He is that guy who can hit that note, who can do that thing to like an R&B song or a pop song that will take you to someplace else. Just like Mike did Dirty Diana and some of the rock songs, Chris Brown has crossed that threshold. Just like Mike did some of the dance songs, Chris Brown has crossed that threshold. Chris Brown has filled in every box in terms of being the next Michael Jackson. He just couldn't climb that mountain because he made a monumental mistake when he lost his temper with that young lady and he hurt her. And I'm not condoning that at all. That's what derailed him. I still think that our closest comparison, consistency, hit records, all the things, right, is Chris Brown.
I think with that, right before we close this segment out, I think with that as well is that's about the comeback, right? You mentioned a couple of times he was super young and we make mistakes.
Yeah.
And one of the things I tell you about him is his grittiness, his allegiance to his urban upbringing.
Yeah.
Is extremely telling, but it's almost like this, it's who he is. And so that when he dances and sings and you put him in the same space with Mike, that makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. So yeah, that was an argument I was having, but I think you did a pretty good job, bro.
Well, we probably don't agree. He ain't gonna tell y'all he don't agree with a couple of them, but that's all right. That's how we do. We brothers, man. It's TIPI. The interesting part is we talk about the most interesting part of the most interesting situations. And Kiss Allen always like to call us out.
No, man, I think it's important, you don't want to get too deep, but I think it's important that people know we've been rocking in this manner for a long time. And I can remember one time we had to come through for each other big time.
Ooh.
Back when super transfers were in effect.
All right, let's set the tone. Chicago, was it like the 80s?
Yeah,
it must have been about the 80s Chicago. If you ride the bus, you had to get a transfer if you want to get from one bus to the other bus. But on Sundays, you could get a super transfer.
You get a super transfer.
That let you go wherever you want to go, however you want to do all day off that one.
Yeah, and we would get it and ride. And one of the things that I like doing, in particular on the train, when we jump on the train, I like to play conductor. Now, conductor gave you an opportunity every time the train stopped. You can let the little window down. You can look to both sides, and you can pretend like you opening and closing the door.
It wasn't an actual seat. It was like a little cubby spot in the corner. You could step up on this little platform. You let the window down, and when you look out, you can see the whole platform of where people was getting on and off the train. So it really gave you it gave you the vibe that you running the whole thing.
Yeah, I was the conductor, and in this instance, As in many instances, we came across a couple of cats that, you know, we was young, we was out here moving around, we was confident. They wanted to stunt our growth. They didn't want to see us be great.
I like the way you put that. They want to stunt our growth.
And so in this instance, I'm playing conductor. I'm standing there. He told me to get down, stop hollering and talking over his head. I ignored him. I let the window down on the next stop. Well, as I'm standing there, I'll never forget I had a moon pie in my hand. And I'm standing there, and he asked me to get down the last time, and I didn't get down. And when I tell you this young man, I had to be somewhere around 8 or 9. This young man
I was about 10,
and drove his fist through my thigh. And if y'all know what a hickey is, I have a ball, a knot the size of a baseball on my thigh. And I start screaming.
Right. When you take these two knuckles, you hit somebody in their arm or hit somebody in their leg.
Y'all already know.
It just swell up. I mean, it's almost animated how it's gonna swell up immediately like a little knot. It might go back down, but in that time.
Y'all know that feeling. I want y'all to imagine that feeling right now. I tell him, man, watch this. I'm going to get my brother. He over in the other side. He said, you going to get who? I said, I'm going to get my brother. He said, all right. I go over there and get my brother. I'm all crying and sniffling. By the time we get to the other cart, this man done whistled or something. And when I tell you it's 13, 14, red hat, blue hat, black hat, we was riding down, man, we was about to get thrown off a moving train. We was gonna have to tell mama, we got thrown off the train. But luckily, there was an older guy on there.
Yeah.
And he stood there and he said, y'all get off right here. Now, it wasn't our stop, but he said, y'all get off right here. And he told them guys, y'all not getting off. Y'all not about to do that to these two little young men.
He definitely did. He stood in between us and them. He's like, y'all not finna do these to
y'all not finna do this. And we got off that train, man.
Y'all go ahead, take y'all gang banging somewhere else. And he let us, he protected us, man. And yeah, that was a good vibe.
Off that train, and we took off running. Wrong stop, but we took off running till we felt like we were somewhere safe because we knew how to navigate the city, and we had a super transfer. So that allowed you on and off anywhere in the city on that day. But what I would tell you, man, I tell these stories because it was about our resiliency. We weren't no victims.
Nah.
Figured out how to navigate the city.
You had to do, and you had some guardian angels here and there, but when you didn't, you had to be smart enough to know what's up. Like, and that's just real. And you can say that about people from Philly, New York, San Francisco, you name it. You name the city, but we definitely
without having to resort to violence or being a victim or
being a victim.
Like somebody did something to you. And I would tell you, the older we got, and I know this story resonates with a lot, then now we ain't become the bullies, but didn't nobody really mess with us like that either. And we can go anywhere in this city. And right now, Chicago, we can go anywhere in this city, and would nobody mess with us. So I had to share that with man because I think it's important that they know, man, we've been rocking for a long time.
Yeah, and it ain't about being a victim. It's just about knowing what you got to do and just doing it. That's how I feel about it. Big Don's, big shout out. Big Don's Collection at Big Don's Collection 2024. Make sure you get on their social media, get on their website, check it out. You're gonna be amazed. And then when you order yourself a few bottles and you really try it, especially with grilling season coming up, man, when you try it, you're going to be blown away. And Big Don's going to be a household name. I'm telling you right now, and I'm telling you so you will know.
The other
Big
part
Don.
is, man, the customer service of it all is on point. The way they box all your product up and make sure you get it in a timely fashion.
Yep.
It's worth a few bottles, guys.
They real good deals online. So place your orders, man. We love y'all madly. TIPI. The interesting part is where we explore the most interesting parts of the most interesting people, of the most interesting subjects and topics. We appreciate y'all joining us. If you like how we get down, then go ahead and subscribe, like the channel. Let's do it like that, man. What we gonna do this again?
We gonna do this every day because I got something to talk about every day. And as you can see, we just sit on the phone and we just talk about all things current events.
That's what's up.
Motivation, leadership. We gonna keep it going.
That's what's up. Hey, we love y'all madly. Holla, holla, holla at Zanie K, at ZANNIEK on Instagram. What's your gram?
At _ the Kis Allen Experience. At the Kis Allen, at _ the Kis Allen Experience. All one word.
So let's go. Let's connect. Let's keep this party going. TIPI. I hope to see y'all soon.
The interesting part is always imparting.
I remind you to fly low. Avoid the radar.
And no matter what happens,
when they come for the car, save
the radio. Peace.
Holla.
Peace in the middle. Peace in the middle. Peace in the middle. Wherever you are.
Our history is like two iconic breaking ground, making history in separate ways.
Let's proceed with what I feel is the most interesting part of the program.
All the interesting things going on in the news.
It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
There are some interesting details relating to all this. Now listen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. If you can't be at least mildly interesting, then shut the hell up.
Let's see if they've got any interesting guests coming up.
I don't want to be rude here, but my stories are interesting.